would destroy the PDP. And he also said that Peter, level of integrity. Why would he combat that integrity? Things that praising him now, things that ambition will cause people to do, and ended by saying, if he comes back, the PDP would not make it. So for some, that sounded like a threat. For others, could it really be that if the PDP makes that choice eventually, it means that, well, it could not or might not be able to get anything out of the 2027 election? Well, this morning, my guest is already with us, and we'll be speaking to the Media and Strategic Communications, just to get this right, the Director, Strategic Communication and Media for the Obidient movement, in the person of Nana Kazaure. We had her one time on the show. She said quite a lot, and I'm pretty sure today she has many more to say. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning to everybody listening to the sound of my voice. I'm sorry my voice may sound a bit funny. I've been under the weather, but I'm here with you. Alhamdulillah, I'm alive and well.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much for making our time, regardless of how you are feeling at the moment. And we wish you speedy recovery as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Well then, let's cut to the chase and begin with, first, what's happening with the Obidient movement in recent times. I mean, we know that it's been very heated in the political space in this country, a lot of back and forth. So with the Obidient movement, is the family still intact, still together?
Of course, the family is still intact. We're still together. We're not about to go anywhere, not anytime soon. We've always said it that the Obidient movement is bigger than just one person. The Obidient movement is about Nigeria, for Nigerians. You see, I've been thinking recently, and I'm thinking in my head, that it would seem as if Nigerians feel that democracy is for a select group of elites. No, democracy is for the people and by the people. That's what democracy is about, and that's what the Obidient movement is about. One thing that we are fully engaged in right now is voter registration and enlightenment, because that's where the country is at now. It's unfortunate that we are also in this frenzy of politicking, and, the government has put us in it's 2 years, a little less than 2 years leading up to the 2027 election, and we can already see that we're electioneering, and that it's a travesty, because you would expect that there would still be governance going on in the country. But the Obidient movement is intact. Well, like I said, we're not going anywhere soon, and we're doing what we're meant to do as citizens of Nigeria.
Now, the FCT Minister, I'm pretty sure you heard me giving a background. He said a few things. One of them included describing His Excellency Peter Obi as a rascal, and saying if he comes to the PDP, the party will fail. What is the position of the Obidient movement about this? Because clearly there are some members of the PDP who are trying to woo him back to the party. There are some of the opinion that he shouldn't go back. Others think that he should. For the FCT Minister, his return would mean calamity for the party, saying, well, he shouldn't go back to a place he has described as, for words that I can't say. But then that was where his position was, or is. That's where his position is at the moment. For the Obidient movement, how would you respond to that? And would you be open to His Excellency Peter Obi returning to the PDP?
What with the speaking on behalf of the Obidient movement, we are not aware that the FCT Minister is a soothsayer of sorts, or that he has some glass ball where he's the predictor of doom for his party. We do also recall that, in the recent past election, he worked against his party. We also do recall that this was the same individual that said he would never go to the APC or work with the APC because it was a cancer. This was the same individual that, he said he would never take the job of a minister. Why would he want to? And I'm sure you have those records, and I'm sure people can go and verify that he made those comments. So I don't think the issue is Mr. Peter Obi being inconsistent. I think the issue is the person you're referring to is the inconsistent one, is the one that is, you know, my mother used to say something, you are what you think of other people. So, hey, that's all I have to say. I don't think we're going to sweat too much on it. Yes, the PDP have made it quite clear that they would want for His Excellency Peter Obi to come back to the PDP, and that goes to show you the integrity of a man who chose to walk away and chart his own course. And, you know, the beauty about that is that as he decided to step aside, chart his own course, people who didn't appreciate what he brings to the table, who didn't appreciate his following, were surprised at the polls that, wow, we made a mistake. It's a good thing that people, you know, it's not just the PDP that's asking for His Excellency Peter Obi. As you well know, we are in coalition talks. There are people who do want this man. And, you know, parties want a situation where they feel the candidate that can literally help them win the election. Parties would rather feel the candidate that has a certain level of credibility. The man has credibility. The man shows that he's competent. The man shows that he has compassion for the average Nigerian. He's a different type of politician. And one thing I always say is that he's just a breath of fresh air. He is who he says he is. There are no airs about him. There's some people who get so upset when you speak about him in what they'll call glowing colors, or you're packaging him. When you've come close to this individual, when you've come close to a man like Peter Obi, when you've worked with him, August 28th made it 3 years that I've worked as someone who speaks for him. And, you know, you just see that there's a certain level of consistency in what he says. What he says he will do is what he says he will do. And so it's unfortunate that the FCT Minister feels the way he does, but I don't speak for him, and that's his opinion. I'm somebody who believes that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but I will say that I do not think that his opinion is quite informed, and I don't think it's sacrosanct. I don't agree that his opinion is the truth.
Does this mean that for the Obidient family, you go wherever he goes?
Absolutely. The last time I was here, I quoted Ludacris, and I said, where he goes, we go. And because that's the kind of trust that we have and we have formed, the kind of relationship, because the man is quite relational. So, yeah, I speak for the Obidient movement when I say whatever decision he decides to take, because we're not foolish. We can see what the policy is. We can see the environment, the political environment, and we understand that certain decisions will have to be taken. So it's the onus is on us to continue with our full-fledged support for him. One thing I do know also, you know, when you ask this question, I sometimes think in songs, and I just remembered a song by Mr. Incredible and Two-Face, where the title is Nobody. So you're an on-air personality.
If nobody talks about you, you are nobody.
Exactly. If nobody talks about you, then you are nobody. Whether or not true, you know. And that's just it. So it goes to show me that you don't talk about people who don't have any substance. So in my view, the bottom line is Mr. Peter Obi is feared as well as respected, even in the circles of those who are opposed to him. The operative word in my sentence is respected. So, you know, his act always, the man's movement just foils their shenanigans, you know, and they have tried to hit at his integrity, and they have always failed woefully. He makes them look small. Is
there any disagreement? Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you, but is there any disagreement between His Excellency Peter Obi and his running mate in the last election, Dati Baba Ahmed? Because for the longest time, it felt as though with the coalition thing that came up, it felt as though like there was some sort of deviation in ideology or disparity in ideology and how they seek to to follow the ideologies that they once shared.
No, absolutely not. I'll be the one to interrupt you now. It's okay for. That's why we're in this conversation. So there's no quarrel or there's no disagreement that would. Let me even quote Senator Deti Baba Ahmed. He recently, in his interview, one of his many interviews, he said it's easier to crush the head of APC than for you to come between himself and his principal, His Excellency Peter Obi. So that just goes to show you. And even after people were having these permutations and there were issues, it's okay to disagree. You and I can have different views about a particular thing. It's like the elephant. Some people will think the tail is a snake. Some people will think its leg is a tree trunk. Some people will think the body is a wall. And, the list goes on and on. The people might think the ears are, but it's still an elephant. It's still what it is. It's still a living, breathing entity. And no, I emphatically say that there's no problem between both of them.
Okay.
They might disagree on the way the coalition is, or some people within the coalition. They and it's okay to be able, and that's the beauty of democracy. I'll say it again. That's why people have the opportunity to speak up. And that's one thing Mr. Peter Obi represents.
All right.
It gives you the opportunity to speak your mind, to say what you feel. And that's what works for us as Obidient.
What about Deji Andrew? Because of course it's clear that it's information, and that twist came out of nowhere for many people. It was surprising because Deji had a very good relationship with His Excellency Peter Obi, and to see that this is where it is now has caused a lot of people to worry. What's the situation like there?
I don't understand what you mean by worry. Please, can you expatiate?
By worry, I mean for many people they are questioning what could have happened either on the part of His Excellency or on the part of DG that would then get to a point where one person is saying that you are defaming me and I'm suing you, when all along people have felt like, okay, these activists and lawyer alongside the former governor are on the same boat and are have a good functioning working relationship.
I don't want to dwell too much on that. As we know, I guess the matter is sub judice. It's unfortunate that a young, vibrant, I listen to him. He has his own opinions and his way of doing things, but he makes a decision so other people bully him, not defame him, because he has his integrity to protect. One thing he will always say to you, if you were ever to meet him and have a conversation with him, his integrity is more important to him than any other thing. So yes, he's somebody who's jumped into the foray. He's somebody who insists that he wants things done rightly. So when you come and you say he offered you money, all of us who work close with him, it's so laughable, because that's not the kind of person that he is. He can support you if you have a project, for example, like let's say there's a school that needs computers. There's a school that doesn't have pipe-on water. There's a hospital that needs solar panels, solar lights to augment where power sector fails. Yes, he will bring out money for that. But to say thank you for coming, I find it highly unlikely after 3 years, like I told you. So
okay.
Mr. Peter Obi he's a bona fide citizen of this country, and if he feels strongly that he's being defamed by somebody who also has a large following, it is his fundamental human right to put a stop to that.
All right.
It's not his first time. I don't know why people are worried, but let me quickly remind a settlement. He has to be deceased because we believe in democracy, free speech, and doesn't mean that we should infringe on the human rights of another person.
All right.
So that's where the situation has taken Mr. Deji Andrew, and I wish everybody well. And I'm truly hopeful that the judiciary will do right.
All right, Nana.
Peter will at least help to interpret,
what the law says. All right, Nana Kazaure, thank you very much. We have to let you go now so you can get on with your day. We already know that you have a lot planned out already, but thank you again for making out time to participate on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, have a great day and speedy recovery still.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, that was the Director, Strategic Communications and Media, Obidient Movement, Nana Kazaure, there with us. We take a commercial now. When we come back, the phone lines will be all open, and then you can come in and tell us what your thoughts are and what you think about the comments of the FCT Minister as it concerns His Excellency Peter Obi. Now, remember, on Facebook, it is at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That is the handle. You also get a chance to respond to some of the things that have been said by my guests. There might be areas where you disagree. All of that after the break.